This is the San Francisco 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr., and coming your way, top players to watch during the Niners' second preseason tilt against the New Orleans Saints on Sunday. And speaking of that game, hopefully the starters will play for San Francisco after being so injured during the preseason opener against Tennessee. We will be doing a watch party for this game. We had 77,000 people tune in for the preseason opener. Let's top those numbers here on Sunday. We will be live on the 49ers Report with an hour pregame show beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. During the game, we'll react together, live play-by-play, audience interaction, chopping it up with the faithful, super chat giveaways, and then after the game, we will be doing a post-game show. Hope to see you there. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on those notifications, therefore, anytime we push out a show or go live, you will be notified. Top players to watch against the Saints. Let's start off with rookie right guard Dominick Puni. What a rise it's been. What an ascent it's been for the third-round pick out of Kansas. Got the start at right guard, mostly due to injuries, but because of his improving play against the Titans. And I thought he played very well when I watched the game live and then went back and looked at the tape. According to Pro Football Focus, in his pass blocking opportunities, he graded out very well. He surrendered 0 pressures of Brandon Allen and 0 sacks. Now, according to Pro Football Focus, he also struggled against the run. But I disagree. When I went back and watched the tape, when I see guys like Brad from SF Niners take a look at each play, and Brad has an offensive line background, I actually like what Puni did in the run game. He's physical. He has no fear. He pancakes dudes. On the opening drive, when the Niners went 75 yards on 11 plays with that opening drive lasting nearly 6 minutes, Dominick Puni had some good run blocks, some good pass blocks. He had the pull block on the Jordan Mason touchdown in which he sealed the block, and then he carried Jordan Mason into the end zone. Mason saying a little bit later, oh yeah, I felt Dominick Puni there. He helped carry me in, and Jordan Mason did his part in really carrying the pile and keeping the feet churning. This is a player who is seasoned and looks seasoned, and after the injury to his hand to Spencer Burford, Dominick Puni stepped in at right guard because John Feliciano is also out, and I don't think he's going to relinquish that role. I think he could be the starter week 1 against the New York Jets. In fact, that is my prediction. Kyle Shanahan, also very complimentary, and we know that sometimes he can be hard and very critical of young players. Quote, Dominick Puni is doing a hell of a job so far. So I think against that very good Jets front and Jets defense, we're going to see Dominick Puni starting at right guard. And I like it because I think this Niners offensive line needs some juice, needs some youth and athleticism, needs some newfound physicality because they've been bullied in the trenches the last couple of years. Puni can help and provide that. Player to watch number 2, working off the momentum from that preseason opener, just like Puni, Malik Mustapha, the safety out of Wake Forest. He had that terrific goal line stop when it was a 4th and short. Titans decided to go for it right on the goal line. Mustapha was the deepest player at safety on the defensive side of the field for San Francisco. He read the play. He diagnosed the play. He shot the play and was able to lay a huge, earth-shattering hit. Maybe a more impressive play for Mustapha is when he streaked down the field on the opening kickoff of the second half, and while getting blocked, was able to make the tackle on the ball carrier. Kyle Shanahan, just like Puni, very complimentary, and saying, I love how he played. Furthermore, here's what Shanahan had to say about Mustapha. I love how he played. You could see how he did it on special teams. He had no hesitation. He's a hitter, but sometimes guys get in that first game and they slow down a little bit. He was the opposite. He showed up on special teams. He showed up on a 3rd and 2. They got to our middle third player, which usually is at least an explosive, and he met him at 3 yards, which is huge. The goal line stand was an unbelievable play. We had a missed assignment, so we had no edge player. So he was actually in the middle third and just filled it really fast in a blink, and he knows how to hit, so it was nice that the guy went backwards. When you see draft picks who are able to contribute and show flashes right from the jump, and you see these rookies playing well, it's a great development for your organization because these rookies are cost-controlled assets. They're very affordable players on a team that is paying top dollar to a lot of other players, and it helps you replenish the cupboard of talent for your organization. Player to watch number 3, second-year linebacker Dee Winters. At TCU, he was recruited to play safety. You see that speed, you see him playing with that type of fire, and you see that type of aggressiveness at the linebacker spot for Dee Winters. And when he was at TCU, he was able to diagnose plays with little hesitation and be very disruptive in the backfield for a lot of TFLs, some sacks, just making his imprint on the game. And he was not graded highly by Pro Football Focus. In fact, he was the lowest graded Niners defender according to PFF. But this is where the eye test is more important than the PFF numbers. His run game grade was 30.2. But I saw him shoot the hole and make a TFL, and it was a really impressive play. His pass coverage grade, 39.4. Now, he got mixed up on a crosser with Calvin Ridley. He missed an assignment on a critical play. But there were some big flashes there, and I think that Dee Winters as a player, he needs to be a little bit more disciplined. Because of his aggressiveness, which is a strong suit, sometimes he can over-pursue and be out of position. But that's better than hesitating, missing, and being slow. And I think that you can fine-tune that to a certain degree. And when you just watch him play, he plays the game the right way. He's very aggressive. He has this swagger, and he always seems to be around the ball, and he has very good instincts. Cody Schrader is player to watch number 4. And in that preseason game against Tennessee, we didn't get to see a lot from Cody Schrader. He only had 5 carries for 6 yards. That is a lowly 1.2 yards per carry. I thought that was more of a byproduct of bad offensive line play. I think that Cody Schrader has good vision and patience and play speed for a running back. He was the leading rusher in the SEC last year, and his path has been unbelievable. He used to play D3 football, walk on at Missouri, and then last year really burst onto the scene. But the offensive line didn't do him any favors. He did have a really nice kickoff return, which was a good sign. You saw a little bit of the giddy up there. But Cody Schrader needs to have a solid performance to have any chance of making the team. And the running back spot, the door is ajar right now because there are a lot of injuries at that position. My stock is not down on Cody Schrader. Offensive line has to block better. He needs some more opportunities. You kind of know what Matt Breida is going to be able to do, right? He's a veteran player in his latter 20s. He was with this team to start his career from 2017 to 2019. I don't think you need to see anything more from Breida. So I hope that Cody Schrader gets an extended run because I think he's earned that with the really good training camp showing. And then there's Renardo Green, the rookie second-round pick cornerback out of Florida State. What is his role going to be in 2024? Does he have a role in the secondary? Is he going to be a slot nickel guy? Is he going to play corner on the outside? Could he play a little hybrid safety? Is this going to be a redshirt year? Is he going to play special teams? I still think that he has a chance to maybe start in the slot as a rookie, depending on what San Francisco's plans are for Deommodore Lenoir. That's going to decide a lot. Isaac Yiadom is injured right now. Rocky Sin's been playing well. Darrell Luter Jr. has flashed from time to time. So the secondary competition, that position group is very deep, but it's certainly up for grabs. The good against Tennessee, Renardo Green did have that fumble recovery. We didn't get to see a lot from him in the pass game. At moments in training camp, he's had some good reps. I want to see that translate to the game field, and hopefully he gets targeted so that we can see what he can do. He led the ACC in pass breakups last year and is also a very instinctual player with some good ball skills. So with that, who are you most excited to watch against the Saints on Sunday night? Drop me a name down below in the comment section right now. And now that the season is here, our watch parties, they go crazy. Last year, we had millions of people tune in to individual watch parties. It was tremendous. And when the Niners score a touchdown, shout out to Mr. Papa, San Francisco. Chatsports.com/SF. Get your shirts today. We've sold these over the last couple of years across the pond to England, across the pond to Australia, all across the United States. Chatsports.com/SF. Other things that I'll be watching for in this preseason tilt: Niners, Saints. Will the starters play? And if so, how long will they play? The Niners have been really banged up. They had to cancel their joint practices with New Orleans, which were expected to take place on Thursday and Friday, because in their final practice before that tune-up against Tennessee, nearly a third of their 90-man roster was not able to practice. And at some point, San Francisco has to have a dress rehearsal to see what their offensive system looks like, get some offensive continuity going, some defensive continuity before you take on a playoff contending team in the New York Jets. And it's been a fluid situation for the Niners, really on both sides of the football because of injuries, but also offensively with the holdout to Trent Williams, as well as Brandon Ayuk holding in. Also, starting offensive line play and backup offensive line play. We saw some good moments, right? Dominick Puni, really impressive. Jalen Moore, after a couple of rough patches to start training camp and replacing Trent Williams, he started to perform better. Did not play against Tennessee because he was sick. Colton McKivitz had a penalty. I want to see that get shored up. Nick Zakelj is an intriguing prospect at the center spot. He was drafted as an offensive tackle out of Fordham back a couple of years ago, but the Niners have slid him into the inside, a little bit of a raw player. He's performed pretty well at that center position. When will we get to see rookie first-round pick Ricky Pearsall in action? Is dealing with that shoulder injury. He started off on the non-football injury list to start camp with a hamstring injury. Has to get healthy because I'm intrigued by the prospect and I want to see how he fares at the NFL level. Edge rusher depth and defensive tackle depth. With Drake Jackson out for the year, Kalia Davis out until the midway point. Niners are a little bit thin at both spots, and if they can't generate a pass rush on the edge, on the interior, if they struggle against the run, I would not rule out the Niners making a trade or canvassing the market once cuts happen on 53-man roster cutdown day. The special teams coverage, new kickoff and punt, it was a joke against Tennessee. There's a lot of time to get that bottled up and buttoned up, but it was not good against Tennessee. Have to figure it out because at times the Niners have had special teams blunders in bad situations and it's cost them in big games. The third down defense, get off the field. I know it's the preseason. I know it's vanilla. You don't want to reveal too much, but you have to work on these things because working on these things, that's what the preseason is for. So Nick Sorensen has to do a better job of his defense getting off the field on third downs because those drives that get elongated and continue, they wear your defense down. And then throughout the course of a game, throughout the course of a season, that can really add up. I was pleasantly surprised with the backup quarterback play that I saw. Brandon Allen, Josh Dobbs, I thought both of them did some good things. Brandon Allen showing off some surprising arm strength. In the past, he has had what we like to deem a noodle arm or a weak arm. He was throwing with some zip, and his best throws were long balls to Ronnie Bell and Tay Martin. They were dimes with good coverage, small window throws. Both were dropped. But that first drive, when the Niners went 75 yards on 11 plays, nearly 6 minutes, Brandon Allen made a couple of nice throws to Ronnie Bell, another one to Chris Conley, and then Josh Dobbs is a good athlete. Oftentimes will make good improvisational plays. Sometimes when he has to play on time, in rhythm, in structure, he can struggle a little bit. But that touchdown run was nice. He made some nice throws. Also, as part of that quarterback play, will we see undrafted free agent Tanner Mordecai, who's a pretty good athlete? Still a couple of roster battles that we're monitoring here during training camp. The backup tight end competition is certainly one of them. The Niners released Logan Thomas. I think they like Eric Saubert, the veteran, because he's a good blocker and he's an experienced player. After that, Braden Willis, Cam Latu, Mason Pline. Can they work themselves up the depth chart and maybe become tight end too? We will be live, Niners, Saints, Levi's Stadium, Sunday Night Football right here on the Niners Report for a watch party. New Orleans, 2.5-point favorites. The over-under at 39 flat. Kickoff is at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 o'clock out on the West Coast at Levi's Stadium. And we'll be live an hour before this game gets underway for our pregame show. And with that, who you got in this game? It's the preseason, but have some fun with it. NO for New Orleans or SF for San Francisco.